Hello there guys, girls, people of the internet and the YouTube game community. My name is BPRGaming and today we're back with another Assassin's Creed Unity video, and today we'll be on about Assassin's Creed Unity, top 10 things you need to know. Number 1, everything is new. Assassin's Creed Unity isn't just an iteration of the previous Assassin's Creed games. This game has been rebuilt from the ground up specifically for the next generation of consoles and latest PCs. Because of these new consoles, this is the first time that we can fundamentally change a lot of the core mechanics and a lot of the stuff under the hood in terms of engine, game mechanics, and actual game structure, says creative director Alec Amanisho. So this is what Unity is. It's not a reboot, it's a reinvention of Assassin's Creed for the next generation. Number 2, including parkour. One of the biggest changes, the ability to navigate down a building. Previously, you'd climb up a building, race across the rooftop, and then find it in a convenient haystack for a leap of faith, landing safely on the ground below. We wanted to avoid having haystacks all over the place and doing that special move all the time, says senior producer Vincent Pontbraid. Controlled descent is more exciting. It also allows you to do things that are different each time. This also adds the sense of joy of being free and doing whatever you want. You need that extra freedom of environment, as the buildings are now all designed at a 1-to-1 scale. Acrobatics beware. You'll really feel the height when you're standing atop Notre Dame, staring all over the city. And that's just a small taste of how navigation has been overhauled. The way an assassin will move through patterns is radically different than the previous games, but we will have more on that later. Number 3, the stealth. From how the enemies react when they spot you to how you sneak around Paris, stealth gets a full makeover. That includes a new stealth stance, which changes how Arno moves and alters how he sees the world. In fact, stealth is once again at the centre of the experience, thanks to some radical changes to the gameplay. After all, as Amanoko says, Assassin's Creed is the first and foremost a social stealth game. You're an assassin, you shouldn't be Rambo. Number 4, the combat. Speaking of Rambo, when it comes to combat, the team went back to the original core values of the game, but then it executed everything on the next generation level. We actually made a combat a little bit harder than before. Pontbraid says, the assassin is still very, very strong fighter. He can easily dispatch an individual or a couple of guards or enemies, but we also wanted the game to be a little bit more realistic. Enemies are both smarter and tougher, but so is the assassin. Button smashing will no longer work when facing a large crowd. A savvy assassin will have to rely on a combination of stealth, planning, and all the tools at his disposal to handle certain situations. It's more fun because there are more tactics involved, Pontbraid promises. Mission and control. Mission structure has also changed, or to put it more directly, missions no longer have a set structure. In previous games, you'd be given a defined set of goals. You'd achieve them, or you'd start over, either the beginning of the mission or at an appropriate checkpoint. Assassin's Creed Unity introduced something called Adaptive Mission Mechanic, AMM, which is exactly what it sounds like. To explain AMM, Amanoko lays out a typical scenario from the previous game. Let's say you're tailing a Templar target. If you get spotted, the mission will be over. That's no longer the case. We've opted for a different philosophy where we won't tell you to tail this guy. We'll just maybe tell you to figure out where he's going. This means you could tail him if you like, and if you get spotted, the tail could come to a chase. If you lose them altogether, your goal switches to locating your target. If a riot happens, if you break out and your target's killed, then you can loot his body to find a letter that tells you where he's going. So it's really up to the player to figure out how he's doing this. Of course, there's much more to AMM than this. It would never be as simple as choosing the easiest path, i.e. killing every target and looting their bodies, because that could have serious repercussions in the world. If a guy is missing, maybe there's going to be double up patrols on your next mission. So there's even a risk. It evens itself out. Okay, so say hello to Arno. Every assassin finds his way into Assassin's Creed in his own way. For Arno Dorian, that's his full name, his journey is about redemption. Arno was witness to a great loss, Amico says. He feels responsible for that. He feels that he could have prevented it, and he didn't. So Arno seeks out the assassins in hopes of acquiring the means to prevent the corruption that hurt him from hurting his other people. Of course, that's just the first layer of the story. Amatio promises that there will be multiple layers to Arno's tale, but we have to wait a little longer to learn more about the intriguing new assassin. And number 7, Paris bound. Assassin's Creed Unity is set in Paris during the French Revolution, one of the bloodiest and most chaotic periods in world history. This was also a time that set the stage for the modern era, changing everything that came afterward. But history lesson aside, Paris during the French Revolution was also a bustling, dense city with amazing architecture and a diverse population. There are also various factions in the world, groups of people who interact with each other, and who the player can use to his advantage. And there are moments when you see crowds of up to 5,000 NPCs on the screen, as opposed to 150 or so, that you might find at maximum in previous games. Assassin's Creed Unity also introduces interiors. Yes, you can enter buildings throughout the city, some of which will be simple interiors, with others being fully decked out settings for missions. It's a game changer for us, Pontypridd says. You can explore Paris inside and out, and under. The Catacombs of Paris will also be available for players to explore. Number 8, Slay Together. Along with the single player experience, Assassin's Creed Unity also lets up to 4 players join up and take on story-driven missions within their game world. Each mission is a self-contained story, which means that we pick different really cool elements of the French Revolution and built up a huge cinematic mission around it. Miko says, and each of these missions can be played multiple times, tackled in multiple ways, often a different experience depending on how many of your brotherhood join and how they are customized. Number 9, choose your own assassin. Yes, customized. We have a finally customizable assassin who can evolve over the course of the game, Pontypridd says. So as you complete missions, you earn skill points, which you'll be able to spend upgrading your skills. Unity includes different skill trees for stealth, combat, and navigation. It's also up to you how you spend those points. And you could also further customize your assassin with different gear, offering even more diversity in how you play. This customization fully crosses over the single player to the co-op and back again. And number 10, present day. Yes, it will be a present day, but they're not talking anything yet. They did, however, get one tasty tidbit out of Amico. It's very different than anything you've ever seen before in the past games, he says. Black Flag was different, this is more different. Okay guys, that is it for now. For more on Assassin's Creed Unity and every single bit of Assassin's Creed Unity gameplay and information we get until the game is released on the 28th of October, subscribe to my channel, like the video, share it. I've been BPRGaming. Thank you for watching.